Have you ever felt like your heart is just tired? Not physically, but deep inside, like you've been carrying something heavy for far too long. You wake up, you go through your day, you talk to people, you even smile. But behind that smile, there's a quiet pain that no one really sees. It's like you've mastered the art of hiding your struggles, pretending everything is okay, when in reality, you're fighting silent battles every single day. And sometimes it feels exhausting, like you don't even have the energy to explain what you're going through. There are moments when the world feels overwhelming, when your thoughts won't slow down, and your heart feels restless for no clear reason. You try to distract yourself, you try to stay strong, but deep down there's this emptiness, this longing for peace, for comfort, for something to make it all feel okay again.
And maybe you've even questioned, why do I feel like this? Or will this ever get better? These thoughts can make you feel isolated, like no one truly understands the weight you're carrying. But here's something your heart needs to hear right now. You are not alone. Even if it feels like no one sees your pain, even if it feels like no one understands, there is one who knows every tear you've held back, every worry you've kept inside, every moment you felt like giving up but didn't. Your struggles are not invisible. Your pain is not ignored. And this feeling you have right now, it has a purpose, even if you can't see it yet. So take a deep breath and stay with me for a moment, because this reminder, this message, might be exactly what your heart has been searching for. Something gentle, something real, something that reminds you that even in your lowest moments, you are still held, still seen, and still deeply cared for.
There are some struggles you carry that no one else can see. No matter how close people are to you, there are feelings inside your heart that you just can't fully explain. You try to put them into words, but they fall short. So instead, you stay quiet. You nod. You smile. You say, "I'm fine." While inside, something feels heavy. Something feels unresolved. And over time, that silence becomes its own kind of pain. Some pain you can't explain to anyone. Not because you don't want to, but because it's too deep, too complicated, or maybe even too fragile to be understood. It lives in your thoughts, in the way your chest tightens for no clear reason, in the moments when everything seems okay on the outside, but inside, you feel like you're slowly breaking. And then there are those nights, the ones that feel longer than they should, when the world goes quiet, but your mind doesn't. Thoughts keep running, memories come back, and emotions you tried to ignore during the day suddenly become louder. You lie there, staring into the darkness, feeling the weight of everything you've been holding in.
Some nights, only Allah knows your tears. The tears that fall silently, without anyone hearing. The ones you wipe away quickly, as if they were never there. The ones that carry your fears, your disappointments, your loneliness. In those moments, it can feel like you're completely alone, like no one truly understands what your heart is going through. Maybe you felt anxiety that you couldn't control, a constant uneasiness that follows you even when nothing seems wrong. Maybe you've experienced heartbreak that changed something inside you, making it harder to trust, harder to feel the same again. Or maybe it's loneliness, not just being alone, but feeling alone, even when you're surrounded by people. And the hardest part is, you keep going. You show up every day. You fulfill your responsibilities. You try to stay strong. But deep down, you're tired. Tired of pretending. Tired of overthinking. Tired of carrying emotions that no one else can see. But even in this,
Even in your most silent, hidden moments, you are not unseen. Every tear, every sigh, every quiet struggle, it is all known. It is all heard. Even when no one else understands, Allah does. And He is closer to you in those moments than you could ever imagine.
In the quiet moments when no one is around, when your thoughts are loud and your heart feels heavy, it's easy to believe that your pain is hidden, unseen, unnoticed. You might feel like the world only sees your surface, your strength, your smile, your ability to keep going. But beneath that surface, there is so much more. And even if no one else sees it, Allah does. Inna Allaha alimun bidhati sudur. Indeed, Allah is knowing of what is within the hearts. Let that sink in. Not just the things you say, not just the actions people witness, but what is within your heart. The feelings you hide, the thoughts you don't share, the pain you've buried so deep that even you struggle to understand it sometimes. Allah knows all of it. He knows the moment your heart broke, even if you told no one. He knows the anxiety you carry quietly, the fears you push aside, the worries that keep you awake at night. He knows the questions you've been too afraid to ask, and the tears that fall when no one is watching.
And what makes this even more powerful is that Allah doesn't just know your pain. He understands it completely. Not in a distant way, but in a way that is closer to you than your own thoughts. Before you even find the words to describe what you feel, He already knows. Sometimes we think that if we don't express our pain, it doesn't matter, or that if no one hears us, it somehow goes unnoticed. But with Allah, nothing is ever lost. Not a single tear, not a single silent prayer, not even the heaviness you feel but cannot explain. Even the moments when you sit quietly, doing nothing, yet feeling everything, those moments are known to Him. The confusion, the sadness, the longing for relief, it's all seen and it's all understood. So when your heart feels overwhelmed, when words fail you, remember this: you don't have to explain everything. You don't have to perfectly express your pain. Just being in that state, just feeling what you feel, is already known to Allah. And that means you are never truly alone in your struggles, because the one who knows every hidden part of you is always with you, always aware, and always caring in ways you cannot yet fully see. Here are moments when everything feels quiet, almost too quiet. You've been making dua, you've been patient, you've been holding on, but nothing seems to be changing. No clear answers, no visible relief, just silence. And in that silence, it's easy for doubts to slowly creep in. You start wondering if you've been forgotten, if your prayers are being heard, if things will ever get better. But just because it's quiet doesn't mean Allah isn't working. In fact, some of the most powerful things happen in silence. Seeds grow beneath the soil long before anyone sees a flower. Healing begins deep inside before it ever shows on the outside. And in the same way, Allah is arranging things for you, even when you cannot see it, even when you cannot feel it. You have to understand, Allah never abandons His servants. Never. Not in your weakest moment, not in your most broken state, not even when you feel distant. His care for you does not depend on how strong you feel. His presence does not disappear just because your heart feels lost. He is always there, closer than you realize, watching over every detail of your life. Sometimes the delay makes you feel like nothing is happening, like your du'as are unanswered, like your pain is continuing without purpose. But delay does not mean denial.
It doesn't mean no. It means not yet. It means there is a timing that is better than what you can see right now. Think about it. If everything came instantly, without delay, without waiting, would you grow? Would your heart soften? Would you learn patience, trust, and reliance? Sometimes what feels like waiting is actually preparation. Preparation for something greater, something more meaningful, something that requires you to become stronger first. And maybe right now you don't understand why things are taking so long. Maybe it hurts to wait. Maybe you're tired of hoping. But even in this waiting, Allah is still writing your story. Every second, every moment, every tear, it is all part of a plan that is unfolding perfectly, even if it doesn't feel like it. So don't let the silence convince you that you've been forgotten, because you haven't, not for a single moment. Allah is still listening, still watching, still caring, and still working in ways your heart will understand one day.
As you continue on this journey, slowly begin to see your hardship from a different perspective, not just as pain, but as something carrying purpose. Because what you're going through right now, it isn't random. It isn't meaningless. There is wisdom behind it, even if you can't fully understand it yet. Allah reminds us again, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Indeed, with hardship comes ease. Quran 94:6. This is not just a comforting phrase. It is a promise, a certainty, something guaranteed by the one who controls everything. Your pain is not permanent. No matter how long it feels, no matter how heavy it gets, it has an end. It has a limit. And alongside it, ease is already written. Sometimes, when you're in the middle of hardship, it feels endless, like this is how life will always be. But think about your past. There were moments you thought you would never get through. Times you felt completely overwhelmed, completely broken. Yet here you are. You made it through something you once thought would destroy you. That itself is proof that hardship does not last forever.
Look at real life. A student struggles for years facing pressure, stress, and self-doubt. But eventually, that effort turns into success. A person goes through heartbreak, feeling like their world has collapsed. But with time, they heal, they grow, and they find a kind of peace they never thought possible. Someone faces financial difficulty, living with uncertainty and fear. But slowly, doors begin to open, and things begin to change. In every one of these situations, the hardship felt real, heavy, and overwhelming in the moment. But it did not stay forever. Ease came, sometimes slowly, sometimes unexpectedly, but it came. And your situation is no different. What you're feeling right now is temporary, even if it doesn't feel that way. This pain is shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you. It's teaching your heart things that ease alone could never teach. Patience, strength, trust, resilience. And one day you will look back at this chapter of your life and realize it had a purpose. It wasn't there to break you. It was there to build you. So hold on.
Even if it's just a little longer. Because ease is not a possibility. It is a promise. And Allah's promises never fail. There are times in life when you feel like you're falling behind, like everyone else is moving forward while you're still waiting. Waiting for things to change, waiting for doors to open, waiting for a moment that finally makes sense of everything you've been going through. And in that waiting, it's easy to feel like you're late, like you missed your chance, like something is wrong with your timing. But the truth is, you're not late. You're being prepared. Allah's timing is not like ours. We see delays, but Allah sees the full picture. We see what we want right now, but Allah knows what is truly best for us, not just in this moment, but in the long run. And sometimes,
What feels like a delay is actually protection. Protection from something that wasn't right for you, or preparation for something far better than you imagined. Think of it like a story unfolding.
There was once someone who felt exactly like you. They worked hard, made dua, and hoped for a certain opportunity, something they believed would change their life. But time passed, and nothing happened. Doors stayed closed, efforts seemed unnoticed, and slowly, disappointment began to settle in their heart. They started to question everything. Why isn't it happening? What am I doing wrong? But what they didn't see was what Allah was doing behind the scenes. In that period of waiting, they were being shaped. Their patience was growing. Their understanding was deepening. Their heart was learning to rely on Allah, not just outcomes. And then, at a time they didn't expect, something changed. A different door opened, one they hadn't even considered before. And when they stepped through it, they realized something powerful. If their original plan had worked, they would have missed something much better. That's how Allah's timing works. It doesn't always match your expectations. It doesn't always follow your schedule, but it is always perfect. So if you are in a place right now where things feel delayed, where life isn't going the way you planned, don't rush to assume something is wrong. Maybe this moment is not about being held back, but about being built up. Because when the right time comes, everything will fall into place in a way that makes sense, not just to your mind, but to your heart. And on that day, you'll realize you were never late. You were exactly where you needed to be, every step of the way. There comes a point where you don't even know how to describe what you're feeling anymore. You're not just tired physically. It's deeper than that. It's emotional exhaustion. The kind where your heart feels heavy for no clear reason, where even small things feel overwhelming, where you don't have the energy to explain yourself anymore. You just exist, trying to get through the day, trying to hold yourself together, even when everything inside feels like it's falling apart. Sometimes you reach a place where you feel completely broken, not in a loud, dramatic way, but quietly, silently, like something inside you has cracked and you're not sure how to fix it. You try to be strong, you try to keep going, but deep down you feel fragile, like one more burden might be too much. And in those moments, it's easy to wonder, why is this happening to me? Why do I feel like I'm being pushed to my limit? But what if this breaking isn't meant to destroy you? What if it's meant to rebuild you? Allah does not break you to leave you in pieces. He allows certain moments in your life to shake you, to humble you, to soften your heart, not so you stay broken, but so you can be rebuilt in a way that is stronger, deeper, and more connected to Him than ever before.
Because sometimes the version of you that exists right now cannot carry the blessings that are written for you ahead. So Allah reshapes you. Through the pain, He teaches you patience. Through the tears, He cleanses your heart. Through the loneliness, He brings you closer to Him. And slowly, in ways you may not even notice at first, you begin to change. You begin to grow. Your strength becomes quieter but deeper. Your faith becomes stronger, even if your voice feels weak. Healing doesn't always feel like healing in the moment. Sometimes it feels like breaking. Sometimes it feels like losing parts of yourself. But in reality, you are not losing. You are being transformed. So if you feel broken right now, don't see it as the end of you. See it as the beginning of a new version of you. A version that has endured pain but didn't give up. A version that has felt weak but kept going. A version that is slowly, quietly being rebuilt by Allah Himself. And that version of you will be stronger than you ever imagined.
And maybe, after everything you've been through, after all the silent battles, the heavy nights, the moments no one saw, your heart is being pulled in one direction, back to Allah. Not because you're perfect,
but because you're tired and you finally realize where true peace lives. Return to your Salah, not when you feel ready, not when your Iman feels strong again, but now, exactly as you are. Even if your mind wanders, even if your heart feels distant, even if all you can do is stand there and whisper Allahu Akbar with a tired soul, go back. Because Salah isn't just an obligation, it's a meeting. A moment where your broken heart stands before the one who can fix it. And make dua. Not rehearsed, not perfect, not polished. Just real. Speak to Allah like someone who already knows your pain, because He does. Tell Him what's been weighing on you. Tell Him what you're afraid of. Tell Him what you've been holding in for so long.
There are moments when your past feels louder than your hope, when every mistake replays in your mind and you start to feel like you don't belong anymore, like maybe you've crossed a line you can't come back from. That kind of guilt can be heavy. Not the kind that guides you, but the kind that traps you. It convinces you to stay away from Allah instead of running back to Him. It makes you feel like you need to fix yourself first before you can turn back to Him. But that's not how Allah's mercy works. Allah's mercy is not something you earn after becoming perfect. It's something you are invited into while you are still imperfect. Your sins, no matter how big they feel to you, are never bigger than the mercy of the one who created you. You see your mistakes from a human perspective, limited, emotional, overwhelmed. But Allah sees you with complete knowledge, complete understanding, and complete mercy. He knows your weakness. He knows your struggles. He knows the battles you never told anyone about. And still, He calls you back. Even after everything, He still invites you back. Not once, not twice, but over and over again. Think about that. Every time you slipped, He allowed you another chance. Every time you felt distant, He kept the door open. Every time you thought you were too far, He reminded you that you're not. This is not the behavior of a Lord who wants to punish you. This is the love of a Lord who wants to forgive you. So don't let guilt become a barrier between you and Allah. Because the purpose of guilt is not to push you into darkness. It's to gently guide you back into His light. If your heart feels heavy, that doesn't mean you're rejected. It means you still care. It means there's still faith inside you. It means Allah is still giving you the chance to return. And the door is still open. Right now. Not when you feel worthy. Not when you figured everything out. But exactly as you are. So take that step, even if it feels small, even if it feels uncertain. Because Allah's mercy is already greater than everything you're carrying. You just have to walk back toward it.
There's a quiet fear that sometimes settles in your heart, a fear that maybe this is it, that maybe things won't get better, that maybe this feeling, this heaviness, is how your story will always be. But that's not the truth. This is not your final chapter. What you're living right now is just a page, a difficult one, a painful one, a confusing one, but not the ending. Because the one who is writing your story is Allah, and Allah does not write incomplete stories. He does not place pain in your life without purpose, and He does not leave His servants in darkness forever. You might not see what's ahead. You might not understand why things are unfolding the way they are, but that doesn't mean nothing good is coming. It just means you're still in the middle of the story. Better days are already written. Moments of relief already planned. Answers to your du'as already on their way. But they arrive in their time, not yours. And that's where patience becomes powerful. Patience isn't just waiting. It's trusting, quietly, deeply, that even when you don't see it, Allah is working behind the scenes of your life. Every delay has wisdom. Every hardship is shaping you. Every moment of endurance is building something within you that will make sense later. So don't rush the process. Don't assume the worst. And don't close the book on a story that Allah is still writing. You are still becoming, still growing, still moving towards something better. Even if today feels heavy, tomorrow carries possibility. So hold on, be patient, trust the timing, because your story is far from over. There is a weight you've been carrying for too long. The constant overthinking, the what-ifs, the fear of what might go wrong, the pressure to control everything, fix everything, figure everything out. And slowly, it exhausts you. Because deep down, you were never meant to carry all of this alone. You don't have to carry everything alone. Some burdens feel heavy not because they are impossible, but because you're trying to hold them without handing them to the one who can actually handle them. This is where tawakkul begins. Not just saying, I trust Allah, but truly letting go. Letting go of the need to control every outcome. Letting go of the fear that everything depends on you. Letting go of the anxiety that tomorrow is uncertain. Because to you, it is uncertain. But to Allah, it is already written. Every outcome, every moment, every detail.
And the one who is in control is the one who cares for you more than you care for yourself. So why carry what Allah has already taken responsibility for? Trusting Allah doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you do your part, and then you release the weight from your heart. You try, but you don't panic. You plan, but you don't obsess. You hope, but you don't despair. Because your heart knows whatever comes from Allah. And whatever comes from Him is always for a reason. So breathe. Slow down your thoughts. Quiet the noise inside your mind. Not everything needs to be solved right now. Not everything needs to be understood today. Some things just need to be trusted. So place your worries where they belong, with Allah, and allow your heart to finally feel a little lighter. There comes a point in this journey where the words slow down, not because there is less to say, but because your heart needs space to feel. So pause for a moment and ask yourself gently, honestly, what are you holding inside? Not the version you show people, not the smile you wear in public, not the I'm fine you say automatically, but what is really sitting in your chest when everything becomes quiet? Is it sadness you never spoke about? Is it anxiety you keep pushing away? Is it disappointment you never fully processed? Is it a kind of exhaustion you've learned to live with? Whatever it is, it deserves to be acknowledged. Because ignoring it doesn't make it disappear. It only makes it heavier. And now ask yourself something deeper. Have you truly turned to Allah?
Not just in words, not just in quick prayers when things get hard, but in that raw, honest way where you tell Him everything without filtering your emotions. Because sometimes we carry so much inside, yet forget the one who already knows it all. We speak to the world about our problems. We think about solutions. We overanalyze every detail, but the heart still feels stuck. Maybe what you've been searching for isn't another answer.
Maybe it's a return to sincerity in dua, a return to quiet moments in sujud, a return to speaking to Allah without hesitation, without pretending, without holding back. You don't have to fix everything before you come back to Him. You don't have to understand everything before you ask Him. You just have to be honest. Because Allah is not waiting for perfect words. He is waiting for a truthful heart. So take a moment, right now, within yourself, and reflect. What are you holding inside, and have you truly turned to Allah? And if not yet, then maybe this is your sign to begin.
Before everything quiets down, before the world slows and your thoughts settle for the night, there is something your heart needs to hear one last time. You are not alone. Not in your thoughts. Not in your struggles. Not in your silence. Even in the moments where you feel completely unseen, Allah is with you right now. Not in a distant way. Not in a someday way. But here, in this moment. In the heaviness you feel in your chest. In the thoughts you can't fully explain. In the emotions you've been carrying all day. He is closer to you than anything you are afraid of. So let your heart soften for a moment and stop fighting everything inside you. You don't have to fix it all tonight. You don't have to understand everything tonight. You don't have to carry everything tonight. Just rest in this truth. Allah is taking care of everything, even the things you cannot see, even the things that feel out of control, even the things you are silently worried about. So as you lay down, release what you've been holding, your worries, your overthinking, your fear of tomorrow. Hand it over to the one who never sleeps, never forgets, never abandons, and sleep with peace in your heart. Not
because everything is perfect, but because Allah is in control. Because Allah is watching over you, guiding you, protecting you, and writing a story for you that is still unfolding beautifully. Close your eyes now and trust Him.
He has not left you. He will not leave you. And He is taking care of everything, even now.